as you approach burnout, things like you feel very tired. Even you rest, say over the weekend also, you rest, you don't do anything, you just rest, just sleep or something. So you find that you cannot recover. You're constantly tired, constantly just drained, that kind of stuff. And then you realize that you're losing passion or motivation over your business. Nobody understands you. You're all alone. You're facing it all on your own shoulders. That's, I think, very typical. Most business owners will feel that way. It just happened at that situation where business was picking up, but I cannot handle it already alone. So I realized that every day I go to the office, I cannot handle it already. Like, there's so many things to do, and there's so many cases that I need to put my hands into. I was a zombie. I just went back and took a shower and I lay down, and I'm not the kind of person who will straightly go and lie down or end the day like that lah. But I was just straight lie down, then Zaki was like, "Hey, you okay not?" I wanted to say something but I cannot say.
Building an SME is never smooth. Growth is hard, challenges are constant, and bad advice can set you back. Hi, my name is Khadijah from Accounting Superhero. As a management support executive in this company, my role is to assist the company's management and directors in the stewardship of this company. Every week, I book a one-to-one mentoring with my boss, Mr. Faz, so that I can perform better in my role. Join me as I go through a range of topics relevant with SME business owners like yourself who are keen to grow your business and ascend to the next level. Before I start, I just want to share that whatever is being shared here is based on real advice and experience from a professional chartered accountant for more than 20 years of industry experience. Mr. Faz is a no bullshit kind of person. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hi everyone, my name is Khadijah and we are back at another Business Post Up podcast. So today's topic is something many business owners face and experience but rarely talk about, which is burnout. So running a business can be exciting, but it can also be very exhausting. Some days you will feel motivated, but other days you will feel very tired and overwhelmed. So today, we'll talk about how to recognize burnout, why it happens, and what business owners can do about this. Okay, hi Mr. Faz.
Hi Khadijah, how are
Okay,
you?
hi. Good, Alhamdulillah. How about you?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, good. Not having a burnout, which is great.
Okay, so basically we are going to talk about burnout. So let's start with something simple. How can a business owner know they are experiencing burnout?
Okay, interesting topic that you choose. I hope you're not having a burnout yourself.
Yeah.
So burnout is basically, I guess it's important to identify that you are actually going through it before you get to the really bad stage of burnout, I would say. As you approach burnout, things like you feel very tired. Even you rest, say over the weekend also, you rest, you don't do anything, you just rest, just sleep or something. So you find that you cannot recover. You're constantly tired, constantly just drained, that kind of stuff. And then you realize that you're losing passion or motivation over your business. Your business is your baby, and it's something that you need to, you need to be able to get out of bed happily and go after what you need to do for your business. But you realize that getting out of bed now is difficult. Another thing is that you feel like you have to do everything yourself. There's nobody to help you. Nobody understands you. Like, you're all alone. You're facing it all on your own shoulders. That's, I think, very typical. Most business owners will feel that way. Sometimes they may feel like very fed up, very angry with your own team members, your own staff, your clients, because maybe they are a source of stress for you lah. You want to go to work, you want to see them, so you, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. And at the same time, you realize that you don't want to pick up your phone and check your emails. You don't want to open your laptop and do it, because checking your emails means yet another fire you have to put out. You don't want to open up WhatsApp, and I think I've been through this also. you don't want to open up your WhatsApp messages in the groups. When you look at it, the questions that are being asked or the things that are being said, you get irritated by it, you get stressed by it, because there's a lot of things which that have to be answered, but the question seems very one-dimensional, but in actual fact, the answer could be very, very multidimensional. And last but not least, maybe physically, other than being tired, right? You have constant headaches. You get headaches, you got some sharp pain here, sharp pain at the back, you can't sleep. When you want to sleep, you keep thinking about work. And then, especially if you're handling some very difficult cases at that point in time, things involving income tax department or things involving maybe a legal matter that is, which is yet to be settled. You find that even if you fall asleep, your mind is still focused on that very scary thing which is happening, right? So that kind of things can happen. At the same time, you get very irritable, so your child comes to you and asks a question, then you snap at the child. Your husband or your wife, your spouse asks you something or asks you, okay, come, let's go out for dinner. So you straight away get upset. Hey, I cannot go out for dinner. What? I got so many things to do. That kind of stuff. You get very irritable. So these are the things that very clear signs that you are heading towards burnout. If burnout happens, means you lose capacity to control yourself already. Means you already, that's it. You probably need medical help at that point in time. So knowing these signs is important. Because if you do go through this as a business owner, first and foremost, please remember you're not alone, but you need to identify that this thing is happening. So don't ignore it.
Understand. From your experience, right? Are these signs something business owner usually ignore at the beginning?
Yeah. Actually, it's very typical for business owners to just brush it aside, thinking that it will all go away. But I can tell you from my experience as well, it doesn't go away. You need to address it. Even if it's something difficult, if it's something that's affecting you negatively in such an extent, you need to sit down and address it because you're a business owner on your way.
Basically, they need to sit with their feelings and
You need
understand that.
you need to reconcile what's going on. But now it's not a weakness. Okay, it's your brain and your body and your heart which is not at the right place. This is, in short, what's going on is that you're faced with so many things happening that your brain and your body is failing you because your system that you have is not working. You need to fix the system.
Now let's talk about the causes. In your experience working with business owners, what are the most common reasons they burn out?
Okay, that's a very good question actually. Okay, so why do business owners experience burnout? Most of the time, right, there are things like they never set clear boundaries between work and after work life, meaning your family life. So there are no boundaries means you work all the time. So when you actually are with family, you're still working. So they don't get enough time from you as well. You also don't get enough time from them as well, but you just don't realize it. You don't get enough time for you to switch off. So at work, you're switch on. You're always ready. You're available. You're there for your team. You're there for your clients. You're there for the market. Everything you're there. But then, right? I mean, we are human beings. We need to sleep as well, right? So when you go back, before you even sleep also, you need to switch off. Turn your body clock off. So you just relax. Do not go and answer messages about 10 o'clock or maybe after 7 o'clock or something like that. Have a certain principle. Set a certain boundary. Don't go and answer calls. Don't go and answer messages. Clients call you or message you. Even the sky is falling. You have to set some boundaries there. Of course, you use your better judgment. If there is a certain case, one case among 300 cases that you're handling, one which is very, very big and very, very, which requires your attention, maybe put a bit of extra attention to it. So bend the rules a bit. But for the rest of it, if you get any phone calls and whatever not after office hours, do it later. Right? So set some boundaries. Clients will always expect you to be always available for them. Okay? Because why? They depend on you. Right? You are trustable, you're reliable, and all that. They know that you can do the best for them, but they also need to respect your boundaries and your working hours. So this is one of the things which are common cause. Another thing is, especially for startup, you are wearing too many hats. So today I need to be wearing marketing, I need to be wearing business development hat, I need to be doing sales. Then you go back to the office, then you realize that, hey, after that 3 hours of meeting, now I have to wear the operations hat. Then I have to wear finance hat because I have to pay my staff as well. That kind of stuff. So you end up wearing 7 hats in one day. 7 hats is plentiful. Okay, so you need to basically hear someone, allocate some responsibility out, so you don't have to take everything onto your shoulders lah. And when even if you hired staff, don't make the you don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to do it yourself, because if not, you will not be up to a certain standard. That I think is a common problem most business owners face. So please stop it. Have mentoring sessions with your staff. Invest time in them. Teach them to do it to the level that you want it to be, so that they can do it at least 90% to your level. Cannot 90 also, never mind 80. Then you breach the 20% gap. Okay, but if you say cannot ask them to do because only I can do, then that's failure already. So what's the point of hiring help for what? Don't micromanage them, delegate properly, and mentor them, coach them, help them. They can do it for you.
You mentioned like wearing too many hats, right? So why do founders struggle to delegate work for their team?
Most of the time, founders they struggle because they take on the responsibility head on. They always think that only they can do it. Nobody else can do it better than them. They feel like their integrity is on the line, their name is on the line. So because of that, they will micromanage everything. They will actually try to handle all the work to themselves. That is not healthy lah. That's very very unhealthy.
There's no trust lah between the team members basically.
So I would say I was in the same situation long time ago, but we need to move on lah. We need to graduate lah. You want to build a bigger business, you want to actually you have to earn more, you want to be able to do things without killing yourself, because going into burnouts will kill you, definitely. You need to train your team well. Hire someone, have a good breakdown of what you want them to assist you with, and then you really teach them and coach them. Allow them to make mistakes, because they will make mistakes, and do not go and explode to become crazy or whatever not when they make mistakes. Teach them so that the mistakes can be corrected and they don't make it again lah. Then next time they'll be more reliable, and then you can also take a step back, inshallah.
Apart from this, right, what are the causes that business owners face until they become burnout?
Okay, so apart from we're talking about no boundaries, we spoke about wearing too many hats. There are a few more things which are also going on lah. When actually which is contributing towards burnout. Things like they keep doing things which are low value, not important, I would say, which can easily be delegated, but they keep doing it again and again and again. Okay, so these things like chasing payments from clients, like you have to call, hi, can you please make this payment, blah, blah, blah. Don't tell me someone else cannot do for you, right? So they keep doing this kind of stuff. They keep doing administrative stuff, just maybe for them to feel a bit more relaxed. I'm not sure. They keep fixing their team members' mistakes. So they don't allow the team member to fix, You don't teach them where they went wrong. They will fix it because it's faster. So they make mistake, just pass to me. I will fix it, then I will send to the client. So what happens is that person will never know where they went wrong, right? So the next time around, he will just repeat the mistake again, and you will be caught in that spiral again and again. So what happens is business owners in this situation, they solve the same issues daily. It's always the same. So it's repetitive. They will burn out. And last but not least, I would say business owners who don't have a clear growth plan or a growth path, they will be in a situation where they will face burnout very, very fast, because they don't plan for what's happening in future. So you don't know what's going to happen next. You are going to do something called surviving. You're always in survival mode. Just keep on going. So you will never thrive. You will never think about expanding or doing things better or making more, because you got no choice. You're just facing things head on. So just imagine your vision is limited to just that of what's in front of you. So when this thing happens, revenue will definitely be stagnant. And the business depends on you 100%. You have to wear the hats. You have to make sure the revenue is generated, and it will never go up because you don't have a plan for what's next.
Understand.
This podcast has been brought to you by Accounting Superhero, your trusted partner for Zero and SME compliance in Singapore and Malaysia. Switch up to Accounting Superhero today.
And from the causes that you have stated, right, I can see that burnout is like a really big challenge. So what practical steps that can business owners take to manage this?
Yes, it's true. Burnout is a very, very big challenge. Burnout is a huge challenge. Later, I will share with you a story, perhaps. Burnout as well. There are things that you can do to basically manage it or basically reclaim back your mental and physical health, lah. So these are things that I would actually recommend you do if you are facing burnout. Number one, which is to audit your time. Look at your past week, what you have been doing, right? Track what you have done and highlight the things that only you can do or only you should be doing. Everything else should be delegated. You have to actually go and systemize it. Either use an app, use AI, or use human. You need to choose, right? Get it done. Don't go and keep doing it again and again and again. So audit your time first. Number two, go and automate all your repetitive tasks or get someone outside of your company to do it for you. So for example, I mean for us in accounting line, we use Xero to actually go and do all our invoicing as well. So internally, our own company, we use Xero. We actually do our invoicing inside Xero and it's all done. So use a system. Don't go and, use Excel or Microsoft Word and things like that. It's far too much time taken. Use, project management tools like Slack or Asana or Trello or what we use. What do we use it?
ClickUp.
ClickUp, yes. So we use ClickUp to actually manage things in our work. So that's another wonderful tool to actually use. And hire a virtual assistant for admin or email management. So who are these people? These could be a real person. It could be an AI bot as well to actually help you to reply to queries, reply to WhatsApp queries, reply to email queries, help you manage your inbox, what's important, what's not important, and how to reply fast because speed is important, right? But when things get going, it's going to be very difficult for you to manage it. So hire someone. If you choose to hire a person and it's a virtual assistant, maybe working from home or somewhere else, importantly just make sure you train them lah. Because if you use a bot, you need to set parameters. You need to give training for the bot. Same way you need to do training for a human being lah. So make sure this thing is done. I've got a few more for you, Khadijah. So next one will be to reclaim your calendar. So in our Monsters of Deep program, right? This is something that we do, I think on day 3 of our program for the Business Owners Retreat. We actually go through one full year's calendar, 52 weeks, and how to set the whole year into a predictable manner. So what are the things that you have to go and block? Your work hours, your rest hours, your special dates. All of these things are actually done far ahead of time.
This is called the Grand Master Plan, is it?
Yeah. So this is the Grand Master Plan, right, by our MOTD program. So we plan this 1 year ahead. And once you've done this for 1 or 2 years, 1 year is not enough. Right? You start planning 3 years ahead. So it's actually good because then you remove things which you cannot plan ahead lah. So things are a bit more predictable. You can do a lot more with your time. That also means that you can book holidays in advance because you already planned for it, right? Another thing that you should do is to talk to someone. Talk to someone. So if you are facing burnout, you already see the signs there. Speak to someone who is able to empathize with you, who understands the situation that you're in. So if you are a business owner, talk to a person who runs a business. So find a business mentor, okay, or a peer group of other business owners. You need to speak to someone who's in your shoes. If you speak to someone who's an employee, they will tell you to quit your job. Okay? They will tell you to stop your business and go and find a job. If you speak to someone who is a stay-at-home person or something, they will tell you, never mind, just stay at home, just relax for 3 months. So it depends on who you speak to. So talk to a business owner who has gone through it before. They will tell you how to mitigate the situation. Okay? Don't underestimate the power of talking to someone who knows what is going on, because that person can really help you overcome this faster because of experience. Okay?
Basically, we must talk to someone who is in the same shoes, in the same circle lah.
Sometimes you won't know whether they have faced the same issue, but at least talk to them about it, or at least bring the subject. And then if they say, yeah, I've been through this before, maybe these are the things I've done, then learn from them.
At least we are being heard.
Yes. And I think even if they have not been through it, but they are a business owner, when you tell them your story, they're able to actually understand it better. They'll be able to say things like macam, I totally hear what you're saying.
Can relate.
Relate, yeah, this is difficult. Maybe you can try this, or perhaps I can ask someone else to help you with that part, of what you're going through. But if you talk to the wrong person, it will be a bigger problem. So
Yeah.
so
It will
choose
become
wisely.
more stress.
Yes. Okay.
Understand.
And I guess last but not least would be to reconnect with your why. So when I say your why means it's your purpose. So when you run a business, right, you already have a very strong purpose. So because of this purpose, it comes into a mission, then you have a big vision, and then you support it with good values. So your why is the most important thing lah. So ask yourself again, why did you start running business? There must be a good reason why. And if the vision forward has changed because of environmental situations. Maybe the business environment that you're in has changed, right, along the way. Certain rules of the country has changed, or certain things which are happening in the global perspective has changed. Then adjust your vision. Maybe do a small pivot or something. Your business that you have must serve your life, must make your life better, not kill you. Because sometimes people forget that this is what I do, this is the only thing that I do, this is the only thing that I can do. That's not true. And ends up you kill yourself to keep the business alive. But actually the business is supposed to run to support you actually. So look again, why am I doing this? Do I need to change my vision a little bit? Because things have changed. And if yes, by all means, make a pivot and keep yourself relevant lah.
So, do you perhaps have any horror stories for this topic?
Yes, I do. I wanted to share with you two, because as I was talking, I remembered some things. But I think I might be able to share with you three.
Wow, that's
So,
a lot.
okay. Okay, first and foremost, I remembered one of our my mentees lah. Okay. When he shared his story about him struggling in business at one point in time, in the F&B line, very, very difficult. And he tried to expand his business. He spoke to some consultants. He actually invested 150,000 to actually go and grow the business and do it within Singapore shores. So spend 150,000. At the end of the day, that money was supposed to be covered by a government grant. The grant didn't happen. Yeah.
Why?
Because before you start the activity, right, you have to apply for approval from the government first. Then you can do the activity and spend the money, and then you can make a claim. Then you can get back maybe 80% or 90%.
That's a lot.
But he instead, when he asked for advice, the consultant, according to him, the consultant gave him the advice that it's okay to just proceed, and then later go and make the claim. So he spent 150,000 already, right? Then he came back to Singapore, and then he tried to claim for it via the grant, but he didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
So that was like the icing on the cake lah, because at that point in time he was so stressed. There were other stresses going on in business as usual, right, every day, right? But when this thing happened, it totally it was the icing on the cake lah.
Biggest shock.
Yeah, biggest shock. So when he told me the story, he was so stressed at home. He cannot even go to his room to go and lie down. So he will go to the living room downstairs on the fan, and he will lie down almost naked under the blasting fan. And then he told me at that point in time he wished the fan will just fall on.
Wow, that's
He
bad.
was very, very stressed. And then after that, he will hear voices telling him, never mind, don't worry. Just go to the balcony and just jump. It's okay. And end all the problems.
Isn't that depression?
That's
It's not
what-
burnout
yes.
anymore.
That's already up to
Yeah.
depression. So that's the reason why I said before you reach to that stage, you need to know these are the things that is happening in your life lah, so that doesn't become that bad. So that was it lah. So when he spoke to me about this, then we shared some ideas. But I couldn't help him because he has already helped himself. So he has already overcome it. It's just about understanding the situation and then how to not go through this thing again. So then we built some systems lah.
I see.
Recently, I think around maybe 3 weeks ago, because now we're half into Ramadan, right? So around 3 weeks ago, I had breakfast with our client, and I think he was also facing some burnout lah. because he went for our MOTD business owner edition, right? The retreat. So coming out from the retreat, he realized there's a lot of things to do lah.
Okay.
So he tried to actually do as many things as possible. So he's very young, very energetic, very gung ho, and I like him a lot. So he's trying to do a lot of things, but at the same time, he's feeling the effects of juggling so many responsibilities,
Wearing too many caps.
wearing too many hats. Maybe not enough assistance, perhaps in a sense. So he's a bit stressed. He's very, very tired. So he asked me like, can I help him understand how to, go about overcoming this without it going spiraling out of control lah.
Get back on track lah.
Yeah. Don't let it become so bad like. So I sat down with him. I told him, look, this is what I can say lah. Very simply, of course, for those of you who are watching today, we will provide you a checklist on how to actually overcome this. Go to our website, you can download it as well. But what advice I gave him was follow what the military does, what the uniform groups. So which is basically when they go through a tiring day, right? They are mentally, physically,
Tired.
emotionally exhausted. But when they come back, they will still wash their clothes. They will still iron their clothes. They will still clean their boots. They will still, if they are carrying weapons, they will still go and clean their weapons.
So discipline.
Yes. So they do this as a form of a mental checklist that they have to finish, then the day is completed. So by doing this, they are lowering the stress level down. As they do it, it will go down. And then after that they can sleep. So it's a process of unwinding, I would say. So that is the military. So we are in business owners. So maybe one thing that you can do is to unwind at the end of the day. So you maybe have your own checklist for the things that you need to close your day with. If possible, include a spiritual element to it as well. So maybe end your day with a good shower or something, with a proper prayer before you go to bed. Or a nighttime story for your child, or 30 minutes deep conversation with your spouse, which shouldn't be stressful, and something like that. No, you must have something to unwind with. Then you go to bed. So do your checklist. So if you are free, you can check out our checklist that will provide on our website. That one is a bit more generic, right? But it's something that can also assist lah, inshallah. Yep. So the third story is about myself.
Yes, well.
So this one is a bit more personal, but I will share with you nonetheless. So there was a point in time where I just had my second child, right? And then I was actually running the business alone. So usually it will be me and my wife, we will be running it equally lah. So but at that point in time, because we had our second child, and we were focused on making sure that our roles are properly taken care of lah. It just happened at that situation where business was picking up, but I cannot handle it already alone. Yeah. So we had more people. Instead of having like at that point in time maybe 4 persons, then now at that point in time we already had maybe 8 or 9 or 10 persons lah. There were a lot more people at that point in time. And then the kind of cases that we were handling were more complex. So I realized that every day I go to the office, I cannot handle it already. Like there's so many things to do. And there's so many cases that I need to put my hands into. And the mistake was I didn't develop any leaders. So
you did all
I was the only leader. So that's why I say I mean, if you're stuck in survival mode, you won't be able to get out of it unless you conscientiously realize and step out. So at that point in time, there was no stepping out. I was the only leader, and my partner was not in office, rightfully so. But I had to do it alone. So it was very tough. Every day was fighting for you. Or even if I come early or I go back late, doesn't happen. So it was like dying every single day. So until a certain point in time, then I realized that no matter how hard I work, the money inside the bank is not growing. And things were becoming harder and harder and harder. So I really cannot take it. There was one day I remember I came back, right? I cannot even talk. No. I was just like, I was a zombie. I just went back and took a shower and I lie down. And I'm not the kind of person who will straight away go and lie down or end the day like that. But I was just straight lie down. Then Zaki was like, hey, you cute. I wanted to say something, but I cannot say. And ended up, I just fell asleep. Then this happened for a few days. Then she also realized that there's something terribly wrong with me. Because I'm not that kind of person. So then I think on like maybe the third or fourth day, I try to structure what I wanted to say because I realized I'm done. And so the words that came out from my mouth was what? No? I think I think this is it. I don't think I can carry on this business anymore. That was it.
That was bad.
So
So how did you overcome it?
so honestly, in the first place, he was like, "What? No, I don't like that."
Yeah lah, of course lah.
Because I mean, we depend on the business, right? I said, "Yeah, but I really cannot handle it. You know. At the very least, if 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 I had someone to talk to, it's not so bad. But when you're the only person in the office who is the leader, the boss, and everybody else is your staff, you don't have any other leaders there, then you're all alone. Kan? So at that point, I was really, really bad. So I went back home. I don't want to tell her the stresses about work. So then there's nobody else to talk to, right? So I started keeping things. So it became really, 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 really a big mess of stress. Yeah. So then I realized I don't think I can carry this stress anymore. So I said I don't think I can do this anymore. Lah. I think maybe I'll just go and find a job or what. Lah. Yeah. So then she was like, well, I think that was the day she was so shocked. So oh my god. Then I think somehow I was so tired, I fell asleep. The next morning I woke up, I don't know why, maybe because I had already let it off my chest. Just by saying about just by telling that small thing also. And, I felt better actually. Yeah, I felt better. She actually asked me like, hey, do you want me to come back to work? I said no. But eventually I will need you to come back. So maybe think about maybe when. So after that, think she planned some things out. I think soon after that she came back to. Yeah, we had to adjust our life a little bit, make some sacrifices. We had to actually go and get some domestic help, like as in get a
Maid.
yeah, nak cakap maid macam maid tak sedap tu.
Helper.
Yes, helper, yes. So we hired a helper, a full-time domestic helper. Then we adjusted lah. Adjusted things a little bit lah. Then it got a bit better, I guess. Yeah.
That's like a tough period for you
Yeah.
lah.
Very, very tough. Actually, I think I went through a lot of tough periods. But amazingly, still managed to overcome lah.
I think many entrepreneurs will relate with this lah. Because I think all entrepreneurs will face like burnout one way or another, right? If you are a business owner seeking professional guidance from Mr. Fuzz, feel free to scan the QR code attached below or using the contact details provided in the caption below. So, as an accountant who works closely with many entrepreneurs, you probably see like burnout quite often. What will be your advice from an accountant's perspective?
From an accountant's perspective, since you mentioned that, I guess in relation to numbers, first and foremost, look at what's going on, all the stresses that you're facing, and then you compare it to your numbers. Are you making so good money that all this stress
What it?
is money? Most of the time, the answer is going to be no. So then I guess it's important to focus on growing the business, getting better numbers, but not killing yourself. So in order for you to do so, that's where after 15 years of business for myself, after 15 years of business, 15, I also had another challenge. I actually had an accident, which I had to overcome it to be able to walk again, to be able to function properly again. At that point in time, I realized that I need to grow my business. I need to run the business at a different level so that I don't keep going through all this burnout. So I would say if it's definitely not worth it, I'm making not much money and going through all this burnout, then change your business. Make it better. Hire the right people, employ the right systems, and turn your business into something which can support you. It was then along the way for the next 10 years, I actually formulated a system because I have to try and see what works, right? So it's a try and error basis for a good maybe 8 years. So in the 8 years, I came up with a certain methodology. So which at the end of it in 2018, I started to share with other business owners. So that's the reason why I do Monsters of the Deep program. in the programs, in the retreats especially, I actually have the blueprint of how to run the business in a way which will not kill you, in a way which will turn the business to something that can outperform you. Because we as human beings, we as business owners, we will fail. But we cannot have our business to fail on us. So that blueprint that I have, I teach it to other business owners. So to help them to be able to run the business better. And by following this blueprint, I know it works. Guarantee, I know it works. You just have to do it properly, consistently, and don't give up. Inshallah, you'll be able to run a better business. It won't be easy for sure. Definitely it's going to be tough. But at least you know why you're doing it. It's to make it better. So you don't get burnt out. So my advice for all of you is get the business to grow in a better way, through better systems, through delegation, to growing a team, through making leaders, make the business something which can support you better, because you deserve a business which thrives, a business which lets you thrive as well. So that is my advice.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this lah.
Most welcome.
So basically, burnout is something many entrepreneurs face, but it doesn't mean that the business has to fail. Sometimes it just means that the system needs to change lah. So hopefully today's discussion will give some helpful ideas for the entrepreneurs who may feeling overwhelmed and tired.
Amin, inshallah.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for today's episode. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Alright, see you.
If you have enjoyed this topic and would like to get to know more about this, look for our bonus freebie, which is on our website titled Combating Business Owner Burnout. You may download this from our FTA website. In the next episode, we uncover another interesting topic. Should I buy or lease a company vehicle?